First off this morning, I want to call on Dave Rotz, Vice President of Cooperative Planning. He'll be followed by Matt Greek, Senior Vice President of Engineering and Construction, and Dave Sauer, Senior Vice President and COO of Dakota Gasification Company. So, gentlemen, we'll look forward to hearing your reports. Dave?
James Cash Penny.
I love our deliverable, right? We provide power, and power is a vital instrument.
Co-ops all kind of have the same philosophical forward-looking process.
And we're a piece of the cooperative. We're all pieces of the cooperative.
All I've known throughout my life is co-op life.
We have a lot of knowledge in our workforce now, and we need to be able to capture that and use it to train our newer employees.
So that we can all work together to solve all of our needs.
And I'm excited to see what the future brings as we develop it and enhance it and are able to use it more and more.
I mean, we are doing something amazing, and I love being a part of this global overall picture of who we are and how we impact that.
Just helping each other out, you know, keeping the lights on for our membership and working hard to do that.
Our leadership team really supports us and gives us a lot of latitude with what we need to do our job successfully.
Like in our group, there's never only one person that does something. There's always a backup that's doing the same thing that you're doing.
You're always trying to get the best value for the customer, and you always put the customer first.
And I want that to be a fabulous relationship.
James Cash Penny, the founder of J.C. Penney, once said that growth is never by mere chance. It's the result of forces working together. Many forces have come together to enable Basin Electric and its membership to continue to grow and evolve in the face of regulatory and power supply challenges. Since January 2015, Basin Electric System hit a new all-time member billing peak of 3,598 megawatts, only 40 megawatts higher than last year's member billing peak, which occurred in January 2014. There wasn't a prolonged cold spell throughout the entire membership area like we experienced in 2014, so the year-over-year load growth does not seem as significant as the growth we have been experiencing. Over the last 5 years, Basin Electric's member billing peaks have increased about 900 megawatts. The fact that Basin Electric System continues to peak year after year shows that growth continues throughout the membership. Member billing peak numbers are still in line with what we have forecasted for growth. Basin Electric's Board of Directors approved the cooperative's new load forecast in February. The forecast shows that even with lower oil prices, growth is expected to continue across the Basin Electric membership. The updated forecast predicts member requirements will increase by approximately 875 megawatts over the next 5 years, and between 2,220 megawatts and 2,700 megawatts over the forecast period of 2015 to 2035. The load forecast is a significant input into Basin Electric's power supply planning, transmission planning, financial forecasting, and rate planning processes. The weather normalized forecast predicts Basin's overall membership demand to grow between 2.5 and 2.9% annually. The variance includes Keystone XL pipeline and oil price fluctuations. To meet the expected membership load growth, Basin Electric has purchased a significant amount of power from the market, and Basin Electric is expanding our generation fleet.
To provide the membership with needed electricity, Basin Electric's engineering and construction staff are busy working on several big generation, transmission, and process projects. Construction continues on Phase 3 of Pioneer Generation Station and Lonesome Creek Station, 2 natural gas peaking plants in northwestern North Dakota. Phase 3 of the Pioneer Generation Station project will consist of 112 megawatts of additional peaking capacity provided by 12 natural gas-based reciprocating engines, shown here being delivered to the plant site. 2 steel stacks were recently constructed on the site, and the reciprocating engines will soon be moved into place. Commercial operation is targeted for the first half of 2016. At Lonesome Creek Station, the Unit 4 stack and part of the selected catalytic reduction system was put in place in September. Commercial operation of Units 4 and 5 at Lonesome Creek is also targeted for the first half of 2016. A third unit, Unit 6, has been permitted for future installation. In the transmission realm, construction continues on the Antelope Valley Station to Nesset transmission project to bring electricity into the Bakken oil region. As you heard from Mike Risen yesterday, the Antelope Valley to Charlie Creek line was energized this fall. The Charlie Creek to Judson line is planned to be energized later this year and ultimately released for commercial operation next year. Weather conditions in the winter of 2014 and spring of 2015 challenged construction, yet the project remains on track to be completed by the end of 2017. As you can see in the footage behind me, a Sky Crane helicopter was needed to set some structures in some pretty tough terrain. In addition to the AVS to Nesset project is the North Kildare Loop. This project includes approximately 60 miles of 345 kV transmission line and 3 substations that will deliver power to member McKinsey Electric Cooperative service territory. We are actively building these 3 substations as we speak. Phase 1 transmission line and remaining substation work within the North Kildare Loop is expected to be complete by the fall of 2016. Phase 2 of the North Kildare Loop is expected to be complete by the fall of 2017. Almost half the equipment needed to complete the urea facility has also arrived at the plant. I should probably say at Dakota Gas's Great Plains Synfuel plant. Construction of the urea production facility continues on schedule for commercial operation in the second quarter of 2017. Almost half the equipment needed to complete the urea facility has also arrived at the plant. The core process equipment, consisting of a separation vessel, scrubber, and pool reactor, will arrive at the plant from Austria this month. The project is slated for completion in spring of 2017, when we will begin production of 1,100 tons of urea daily, with the ability to shift urea production to produce diesel exhaust fluid and sell liquefied CO2. Dakota Gas mechanical engineer Sarah Edinger will narrate an engineering model of the project.
Construction is currently underway for a new urea unit at the Great Plains Synfuels plant. Utilizing a stamicarbon urea process, the unit will be capable of producing 1,100 short tons of granulated urea and approximately 180,000 gallons of diesel exhaust fluid per day. The process requires carbon dioxide and anhydrous ammonia produced from the facility's existing ammonia unit. Urea is a dry, solid granule that contains 46% nitrogen, and it's widely used in the agricultural industry as fertilizer. Diesel exhaust fluid, which is more commonly known as DEF or AdBlue, is a urea liquor that is used in modern diesel engines for emissions as required by law. While most of the construction activities will be taking place in the area seen here, there will also be construction in the ammonia storage and boiler house areas of the facility. High-pressure ammonia pumps will be installed near the existing ammonia storage tanks to transfer anhydrous ammonia to the new urea unit. Up at the boiler house, the existing Riley boilers would not be able to produce enough steam to meet the demands of the facility and the new urea unit. So a new package-style boiler will be installed to increase the steam capacity for the entire facility by 200,000 pounds per hour. Over by the facility's existing ammonia unit is a CO2 liquefaction and compressor building and 2 CO2 storage tanks. Each of the tanks can hold up to 500 tons of CO2. Inside the building, we have the CO2 liquefaction, drying, and purification skid, which will refine CO2 from the existing ammonia unit to food-grade quality CO2 at a rate of 200 short tons per day. Also located in the building is a custom compressor from Mitsubishi in Japan that will compress the CO2 and transfer it to the urea unit. At the main urea unit, we have the melt and granulation buildings and tanks used for various purposes throughout the process. A new chemical that is being imported to the site is UF85, which is a urea formaldehyde concentrate, and we'll discuss its purpose later. Inside the melt building, the Stamicarbon high-pressure Safrex equipment lies at the heart of the urea synthesis process. These pieces of equipment are the HP stripper, scrubber, and pool reactor, which convert the CO2 and anhydrous ammonia into liquid urea. Schiller-Blackman, which is located in Austria, is one of the only fabricators in the world that can make these proprietary vessels. Before the liquid urea is turned into its granular form in the granulator, the UF85 that was mentioned earlier is added to the liquid stream. This serves in aiding the granulation process and is an anti-caking agent so the granules don't stick together. The granulator consists of two sections, one for granulating and the other for initial cooling. In the first section, undersized granules are recycled where they are sprayed with the urea UF85 mixture to build up the particle size. In both sections, air is introduced from the underside to fluidize and cool down the granules. The air that is discharged from the granulator will contain urea dust particles that need to be scrubbed out before being returned to the atmosphere. This will be done by utilizing a series of two scrubbers known as the Quench and MMV scrubbers, which will remove the urea dust particles. The Quench and MMV scrubbers are a proprietary design by EnviroCare out of California. After the granulator, the granules go through several material handling processes such as screening, cooling, and crushing. The on-site product is then transferred to the storage barn in the storage and loadout area. Located next to the storage barn is a 1 million-gallon storage tank for the DEF. On the other side of the storage barn is the loadout facility, and it has 3 bays. Granular urea will be loaded in bays 1 and 2, and the DEF will be loaded in bay 3. Bays 2 and 3 have the capability to load by either truck or rail. Inside the storage barn, there is quite a unique setup for shaping and reclaiming from the 53,000-ton pile. The urea drops onto the pile off of a conveyor, and then a portal reclaimer is used to maintain the pile profile and also serves to reclaim the material from the pile and onto a conveyor on the northeast side. The conveyor then sends the urea over to the loadout bays. Everything is expected to be mechanically complete November 2016 in order to meet the spring urea market.
Worker numbers are projected to increase throughout the year and peak at 750 workers in 2016. The goal is to be complete with engineering for the project in the fourth quarter of 2015. Product is expected to be available for sale by spring 2017. On the environmental front, as you know, Basin is getting to work on evaluating and charting a course of action in response to the EPA's Clean Power Plan. The cooperative has also been busy with projects needed to meet regional haze requirements. In early 2014, the EPA issued a partial federal implementation plan on Wyoming's state plan that requires Laramie River Station to install selective catalytic reduction NOx controls on all 3 units by March 2019. These SCRs would be in addition to the low NOx burners and overfire air required by Wyoming's state plan. The federal plan would cost Basin Electric approximately $363 million and the Missouri Basin Power Project more than $750 million collectively to bring Laramie River Station into compliance. In September 2014, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals granted our motion for a stay regarding the EPA's ruling, effectively granting Basin Electric and Pacific Corp's request that the compliance deadline for EPA's federal implementation plan be extended for the duration of the stay.
In the face of the regulatory challenges such as these, Basin Electric continues looking for ways to work better and collaborate with both members and non-members. 2 years ago, we had the opportunity to welcome a new member to the Basin Electric family, Yellowstone Valley, a member cooperative located in Montana. This year, we have the opportunity to welcome 3 other new member cooperatives into the Basin Electric family. In Montana, Upper Missouri has accepted Mid-Yellowstone Electric's formal request to become a member of Upper Missouri. Mid-Yellowstone is headquartered in Hyzum, Montana. Basin Electric's power supply deliveries and their arrangement will begin in October 2017. Fergus Electric and Tongue River Electric just recently took action to become members of Precorp. Fergus Electric headquartered in Lewiston, Montana, and Tongue River Electric is headquartered in Ashland, Montana. Both Basin Electric power deliveries under these contracts also begin in October of 2017. The addition of these 3 member Montana cooperatives grows the Basin Electric power supply obligation to our membership by slightly more than 52 megawatts. We are happy and welcome them into the family. Here are a few member managers talking about these cooperatives' recent entrance into the Basin Electric membership.
The relationship with Mid-Yellowstone started in 2012. I believe it was July of 2012. They came over and visited with our board about knowing that there's going to be a time coming in the next few years that they would need power supply. Growth in any business is a way to spread costs, a way to plan into the future with new services, new initiatives, and having greater number of kilowatt hours to spread those costs or those initiatives over makes good economic and financial sense.
So we set out on a strategy to make sure to look for opportunities to increase our economies of scope and scale. Then the opportunity arrived with the potential Southern members to invite them into the Basin family. And we were fortunate enough to be included by Basin as the 3 co-ops that were sort of designated to carry on the conversations with the co-ops, and it was really focused around getting the boards together and having conversations and building relationships. And then at one point, it just seemed like when we looked around the table, the fit was really good. The boards were very comfortable with each other, and we saw where the different staffs would be able to add value and learn from each other.
If Basin isn't strong, our members won't be strong. And of course, our members' strength is having a secure power supply, having something even as unpredictable as our future is. What better way for us to diminish risk by working together?
It's the diversity and the strength of the entire Basin membership. One co-op is growing, one co-op may not be, one industry is strong, another industry may be going through a down cycle, but you aggregate that together through the Basin family, and it allows each of us to just buy what we need when we need it, and everybody pays the same rate.
We have confidence that even though there's 111D looming in our future, or it's in our present actually, that we have confidence in the Basin staff and the Basin organization and the governance that will be the power, Basin will be the power solution for our needs in years to come.
In July, Basin Electric's directors passed a resolution to authorize further due diligence regarding the possible addition of another Class A member to the Basin Electric family. That potential new member is Minn Kota Power Cooperative, a generation and transmission cooperative headquartered in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Minn Kota's total projected load in 2017 is 876 megawatts of peak demand. This effort really began 2 years ago when Basin Electric first entered into a power purchase agreement with Minn Kota. They had surpluses and we had needs, just how cooperatives are supposed to work together. There's no time frame associated with the board resolution. Basin Electric has also become the scheduling agent for Wyoming Municipal Power Agency. That one-year contract started October 1 of this year. The Wyoming municipals are considering becoming an all requirements member of Basin Electric. They've hired Burns & McDonald to analyze the economics of membership in Basin Electric. That review is expected to be completed by year end. We are hopeful that at next year's annual meeting, we'll have the opportunity to honor and welcome in more new members into the Basin Electric family. Basin Electric's long-term all requirements contract with its members is one of the main reasons the cooperative is financially stable and so highly regarded by lenders and rating agencies. Here are a few Basin Electric member cooperative managers talking about the significance of these contracts.
Growing Power was quite excited actually to extend the contract with Basin Electric for several reasons. The three big things I can think of right offhand are Basin's culture, the trust factor, and of course the price is always significant too. So those three things made Crow Wing extremely willing and ready to extend the contract. If I understand it correctly, all of the lenders and the rating agencies look right through the G&T to the contract with the end user, the co-op, the member.
If you're looking that far out in the future, you're looking at, are you doing business with the people that are like-minded? Are you doing business in a manner that you believe in? And we are. I have a firm belief that whatever challenges we have coming forward, and we see many of them, and there'll be many more, we can conquer it more effectively, more in the interest of our members at the end of the line, by working together in a multi-state area with the right ideals than we ever would trying to do some solo thing alone.
You can tell that Basin staff, employees, management, and board are all there to do the right thing for the members, and it's just so obvious and so evident, you know. Even going down to the extending this contract meant that Basin took away the equity adders, the parity adders, the rates came down. They are working quietly and silently behind the scenes to do the right thing for the member. It's very evident, very obvious, and we greatly appreciate it.
The 2016 Class A member rate structure was modified to include a demand and energy contract extension credit associated with the depreciation extension of our member power plants, which is possible due to the extension of the member wholesale power contracts through the year 2075. This contract extension credit amounts to a discount of $37.4 million in 2016 and equates to roughly a $1.5 million discount to our member rate. Basin Electric and our membership will also be reviewing our rate structure, load management operations, and an expansion to our support of solar generation development in the membership service territory over the next 9 months, with the ultimate goal of supporting membership load growth. In order to serve our members to the best of our ability, Basin Electric is also strengthening its strategic planning processes, along with measures and monitoring processes towards meeting those goals. A strategy refresh will be held with the Board of Directors in December to assess if the goals and targets need to be modified or if new goals should be added. Basin Electric is refocusing on 4 key areas: an empowered workforce, a cooperative culture, membership growth, and operational excellence. Basin Electric is in the process of identifying pilot projects for continuous improvement, which relates to supporting the strategic plan goals and the theme of operational excellence. In addition to finding ways to improve efficiencies, continuous improvement will foster a way to engage and empower the employees. With continuous improvement comes continued commitment and service to our membership. At the forefront of that service is Basin Electric's Member Support and Services Division. This division offers 24-hour dispatch service for 70 distribution co-ops and the residential and commercial consumers across the Midwest, along with a range of alarm monitoring such as fire, police, personal medical pendant, and environmental. As Quality Assurance Coordinator in the Member Support and Services Division, Jolene Hoffman explains how Basin Electric strives to serve the membership.
I think SRS really defines Basin Electric's Member Services Department as a whole. I think we really are the front door of the cooperative, reaching out to our members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, really trying to anticipate and to respond not only to meet but to exceed our residents' needs in a timely, professional, and knowledgeable manner. Looking at bringing on new co-ops, whether they're members or non-members, and so we're looking always to provide that standard of consistency for all of our members at all times. So putting together a package that's consistent within the membership, I think really helps across all co-ops. SRS Member Services is and always will be about a genuine interest in satisfying the needs of all of our members.
As we develop plans to meet our members' energy needs, we don't discount any options that will help keep our member rates low. We're in the process of developing our new load forecast. Based on those results, we will be going out for another request for proposal, or RFP, as well as determining if it is economical to build additional generation. Based upon previous power supply planning analysis, we have secured resources or developed strategies to meet the forecasted membership load growth into the year 2020 in Montana, through 2022 in MISO, and into 2024 in SPP. We do not foresee a need for additional generation to meet our membership load levels in the Colorado and Wyoming area well into the future. Options being considered to address member growth beyond those periods is the construction of Montana peaking generation, possibly by 2020, a combined cycle power plant somewhere in SPP by 2024. Basin Electric is also evaluating a joint ownership structure for a potential combined cycle power plant in the MISO system. A meeting regarding the potential project between the CEOs of the potential partners took place in December of 2014, and another CEO meeting is scheduled in the last part of November. Next steps include finalization of definitive agreements related to the arrangement and potential full commitment to the project's development in 2016. Here is Becky Kern, Director of Utility Planning, to tell you more about that potential project.
Basin Electric's been looking at possibility of joint development of a large combined cycle facility. Basin probably is looking at about 300 megawatts of combined cycle generation, and with the economies of scale, going with a larger facility is much more economic for Basin Electric. So we're looking at the possibility of developing a jointly owned, probably in the neighborhood of about 800 megawatts. This facility would be located in the MISO system to serve our MISO obligations. Right now we're looking at this facility to be online in the 2022-2023 time period. We've been meeting with a group of utilities for the last year or so, continuing to meet later this year with the possibility of an ultimate commitment to this project early next year. We do have some meetings scheduled with the other participants or possible participants here later in November. Ultimately, if Basin would decide to nominate some megawatts into this project, we'd be looking at executing definitive agreements probably during first or second quarter next year. And so there would ultimately be an announcement of this project if we do decide to go forward early next year.
RTO membership enables the cooperative to do business with more entities and reduce risk of lost resources as we look to either build new generation or execute power purchase agreements. Power purchase agreements, or PPAs, are another tool to help keep rates low. There are times when you can enter into PPAs at a cost less than the construction of new generation facilities, such as a combined cycle or peaking plant, and buy us time to monitor load growth and market conditions before building generation resources. In May, the directors authorized staff to execute PPAs of up to an additional 425 megawatts. The agreements are strategically placed across the Southwest Power Pool, Montana, and MISO systems. If you add these new contractual purchases to other recent power purchases, Basin Electric has entered into more than 750 megawatts of economically priced PPAs to purchase or to serve Basin Electric's member load growth well into the future. These purchases have allowed for the delay of construction of new Basin Electric-owned resources. Basin Electric also continues the development of new renewable generation sources. Basin Electric's renewable generation portfolio, which includes waste heat generation, will include more than 1,400 megawatts of renewable generation by the end of 2016. Member cooperatives are also delving into solar. While solar energy is intermittent and battery technology is not yet advanced to the point of making solar a reliable energy source, our members are fulfilling their duty of becoming the local experts for their member consumers. Here's a video about one such project, Sioux Valley Energy in Brandon, South Dakota.
This project was installed this past spring. This is a 24 kW solar array. The entire array has capacity of 24 kilowatts.
Our solar project really was meant to be a demonstration project for our membership and for our employees.
We get a lot of questions about solar from our members right now. So we did want to get some real life experience with our own system.
And then it also helped our membership because they're able to go online, take a look at what it's producing, so they know what to expect if they want to install their own DG.
We can set their expectations so they don't have these sky-high expectations of how many kilowatt hours these panels are going to produce and then be disappointed by it in the long run.
So we want to make sure that our members know that they can come to us and ask us the questions, and we're going to have the answers for them.
With uncertain oil and gas prices and the announcement of the Clean Power Plan, it's impossible to know all of the answers. That being said, our main focus has been and always will be on the members. With the help of external consultants, continued hard work and innovation at Basin Electric, and collaboration with the membership, we will develop a plan to continue serving our collective power supply obligations and keep rates as low as possible.
One way we work to support Basin Electric in keeping rates low is through innovation. The art of innovation has long been embedded in the culture of the Great Plains Synfuels plant. Employees have dug deep to develop new products to enhance the economics of the facility. When Basin Electric purchased Dakota Gas in 1988, only 2% of the revenue was from products other than natural gas. By 2017, 75% of Dakota Gas's revenue is projected to be from additional products. Product diversification and revenue generation have been key in securing the Synfuels plant's operation into the future. Dakota Gas, with Basin Electric support, has expanded to 9 additional products today, with 3 new products, urea, diesel exhaust fluid, and liquefied CO2, set to be ready for sale by 2017. Innovation brought us a unique scrubbing system that uses ammonia as a reagent to capture sulfur dioxide and produce ammonium sulfate granular fertilizer, Daxol 45, that we sell to the agricultural community. Another innovative project is the carbon dioxide project. We have captured and transported more than 30 million tons of CO2 to the Canadian oil fields for enhanced oil recovery. Diversification is defined as the act or practice of manufacturing a variety of products so that a failure in or an economic slump affecting one of them will not be disastrous. Diversification is the key to the Synfuels plant's future. Mike Just, engineering manager, explains the focus on future diversification at the Synfuels plant.
You know, at the facility too, we've got a whole group of engineers, operators, maintenance folks that are always looking at cost savings, cost reductions. And I guess that's the other piece too. It's not just about making more product or new products, it's about optimizing what we have. We've been in the fertilizer business. We've got 2 fertilizer products right now. Anhydrous ammonia, ammonium sulfate that we call by the trade name Daxol, and urea will be our 3rd one. So as I mentioned with diversification, we can certainly continue pursuing fertilizer, but I'm afraid that we'll get to the point where we're putting all of our eggs in one basket. And just as we used to have with natural gas, fertilizer would be the danger if we continue pursuing large projects in the future. So the team right now, the revenue generation and diversification team, is looking at alternative markets, other markets that we can get into. Ideally, things that we have for the local market. Given our rural location, we're far away from the traditional chemical markets on the Gulf Coast, on the east and the west coasts. And so we've got fertilizer in the facility that's local with the big ag community, and it's something that we're obviously pursuing, and it's been a good revenue stream for us. The other thing that we have locally is road fuels. So gasoline, diesel fuel. Diesel fuel is not only a road fuel, obviously, but an ag fuel. So there's a local market for both of those products.
Some specific opportunities we are exploring are syngas to gasoline or diesel, combined heat and power projects, argon and neon recovery, and naphtha value enhancement. Innovation isn't only adding products we produce, but also increasing the efficiency and availability of the plant. Completing the Clean Cooling Water project has lengthened the duration between maintenance outages to 2 years. This year, for the first time in our 31 years of operation, we were able to eliminate a maintenance turnaround and realize the millions of dollars that we will save in maintenance costs and production downtime. Synfuels plant manager Dale Johnson explains how Clean Cooling Water project has enhanced plant operations and saved on maintenance activities.
This year really marks the first time that we've gone to a 2-year interval where we haven't had to do that annual cooling water heat exchanger cleaning. That's a huge benefit to the facility. It means that we will have lower cleaning costs. Half the plant will run for a 2-year interval, so we'll have lower downtime. At the end of the day, having one less outage per year saves several $1 million. And the way the new system really works is it circulates clean water throughout the facility. It's what they call a closed loop system. And that clean water then exchanges through all the over 100 heat exchangers on plant site. And then in order to take advantage of the processed water, we have a cross exchange. We have very large heat exchangers that cross exchange what we call dirty water to clean water. So that's how we cool off the entire process. So now those 100+ heat exchangers all have clean water flowing through them, and we don't have the fouling issues anymore.
While the Clean Cooling Water project increases plant availability, we are also focusing on efficiencies in the ammonia plant. Ammonia plant operation efficiencies and reliability will be key in moving into urea production as the new urea plant comes online. We took that plant from block operation, where we shut it down for a portion of the year, to running it year-round. We added ammonia storage to allow for additional sales in the spring and fall seasons. We also conducted a study this year with Kellogg Brown & Root, who provided an extensive review of the anhydrous ammonia plant's operation. Dale Johnson explains how the results of this study have changed the operation of the ammonia plant.
Most people are aware of the fact that our ammonia plant was originally built in the 60s in Fort Madison, Iowa, and was relocated to DGC. So some of that old equipment has had reliability issues over the years. We hired Kellogg Brown & Root to evaluate our plant and for reliability issues, again, best practices, those sorts of things. So, and one of the more exciting things, one of the things that has come to the top very quickly, is they determined that one of our operating temperatures, basically the first step in the process, is a heater. And what they determined was that we were running the temperature on the outlet of that heater warmer than necessary. So we have been slowly but surely working on reducing that temperature, and that is a big win for us. It makes the unit more efficient. We're seeing at least a 5% improvement in efficiency already, and I think there's potential for more. And also, because it's cooler, that inherently will make that process more reliable. Our strategy is basically to make sure that it's ready for the urea plant. So sometime before the second quarter of 2017, we want to make sure that that unit's running as reliably as it can. So this year we did a number of significant projects. We had a lot of work that we did this year. And next year, next July, we'll implement a few more changes, including replacing a couple of compressors. So between those two, what we call turnaround seasons, we will get a lot of work done in that unit. It'll really have a different look going forward.
Changes in the way we operate the ammonia plant are good examples of our innovation. With innovation and diversification being our focus and keeping our cooperative principles in mind, we spent time this year developing a new strategic plan. We formed a committee of our members of management team and a cross-section of experienced and new employees to discuss where we are going and how we want to get there. We've hired more than 260 new employees in the past 2 years to staff up for the urea project and replace retirees. So there's a lot of opportunity for both existing and new employees to move into leadership roles and to share ideas on how to better our operation. We recently shared our new strategic plan with our employees, including a new mission statement, vision statement, values, and strategic themes. These are featured at Dakota Gas's booth this year, so I encourage you to stop by and check it out. In this video, Senior Process Engineer Myra Perry shares the steps we took to develop the strategic plan for Dakota Gas.
Currently, I'm actively involved with developing DGC's strategic plan. We have a team that's a diverse team that incorporates new employees to seasoned employees and across different areas of the plant. And we're working to develop a 10-year plan to show which direction DGC is going so we can move in unison and not in individual departments. When we started out, we wanted to define a mission and a vision. And your mission defines as where you are now, and your vision is where you want to be in the future. So we developed a mission and a vision statement. And then from there, we developed a strategic map that has our values on it. And we took the time to further develop our values and not just have a word out there as accountability, and rather we wanted to define it because everybody has a different definition of a word, and we wanted to make sure that as a company we all understood what those core values mean. One of our strategic themes is the business growth. And within that, we have several things that we're moving forward with. We have a revenue diversification team that actually has a goal to look at numerous processes throughout the year to evaluate them to see if that's something that we can incorporate at DGC to either enhance our products or increase our product line. A lot of companies have a strategic plan, but they fail to implement it. And so we are going to take and develop a balanced scorecard, which will show which direction we want to go, and it'll evaluate every year. Are we going in the right direction? Are the things that we're trying helping us to reach our strategic themes? So you'll be constantly reevaluating it and moving forward using your balanced scorecard. We feel like we've been very innovative over the years, and we continue to be innovative. We're constantly installing new things that improve things. You can go back and talk to operators that were here at the beginning, and they'll tell you how things have changed so much. And we're constantly changing things. We're very proud of our innovation and feel that we have very innovative employees.
Our mission is to convert lignite coal into diverse revenue streams in a safe, profitable, and environmentally responsible manner, providing long-term value and stability to the cooperative and our community. Our vision is to work together safely and efficiently to deliver quality products for long-term success. The urea plant project that Matt mentioned earlier is an example of a project that follows the thought behind this plan. It will develop 3 additional products: urea, diesel exhaust fluid, and liquefied CO2. These products will increase our revenue stream, and we will be able to more safely move our products to market while providing urea fertilizer to benefit our members and rural America. In 1988, when Basin Electric and its members purchased the Synfuels plant, Basin Electric realized a $37 million per year benefit to the cooperative. Today, that benefit is nearly $60 million a year. We are committed to continuing on a path where we are diversifying our operations to position ourselves for a bright future with an increasing benefit to the membership.
As you heard from Dave, Basin Electric is working hard to identify and investigate potentially promising technologies in order to continue to reliably and economically serve its membership. In assessing future development, we must consider the costs and capabilities of our generation options. We're looking at innovative concepts like combined heat and power at the Synfuels plant to find ways to address the challenges that come with member growth and the Clean Power Plan. We must also look to develop sites for generation to help limit the time it takes to commercialize new generation units. Looking at the future and what might become commercially available is the purview of our Horizons Group, which is headed by Jim Sheldon, Senior Research and Development Engineer.
Supporting the Horizons team is a cross-departmental group of about 12 folks from different departments at headquarters and also representation from DGC. The team tries to keep our finger on the pulse of the EPA regulations that are on the horizon, as well as understanding and reviewing new technology and potentials. On August 3rd, the EPA released a pre-publication of their Clean Power Plan rules, and the group has focused a lot of attention on those rules, defining the impacts to Basin Electric and its members, along with supporting the legal challenges that are certain to be coming with those rules. In parallel to that, we are working to identify strategies and activities that can ready Basin Electric to be positioned for the least impact should those rules be upheld. So one new technology that Basin Electric is supporting research and development of is the alum cycle. The alum cycle is a new thermodynamic cycle to produce electricity, and it uses CO2 as a working fluid rather than water, which is used in our coal-fired power plants. It has an advantage of being more efficient and also capturing CO2, but the development of the technology doesn't come without some challenges that we are working through to try to provide a pathway for utilizing our coal in the future.
We will continue to work safely and efficiently to support the growth and innovation at Basin Electric and undertake each activity with you, the membership, in mind. Thank you.